Sounds like a movie, doesn't it? A bad movie. A really, really bad one. But it's my life, and it's real, and it's a living nightmare I created. When Mark and I got married, it was everything I'd ever wanted. He was kind, stable, funny. Our life was comfortable. We had the cute house, the dog, the predictable Sunday brunches with his family. Everyone loved us. I loved us. Or at least I thought I did. There wasn't drama, there wasn't screaming. There was just a slow, almost imperceptible drift. Little by little, the spark that had ignited us faded into a gentle, warm embers. Comforting, but not burning. I convinced myself that was normal. That was maturity. Then there was Liam, Mark's younger brother. Liam was always the wild one, the charmer, the artist. He'd breeze in and out of family gatherings with new stories, new adventures, a different energy entirely. For years, he was just Liam, the fun brother-in-law. We'd laugh at his jokes, roll our eyes at his antics. Nothing more.
But something shifted about a year ago. Mark had started working longer hours, absorbed in a big project. I felt a bit forgotten. Not intentionally by him, but just alone. During family dinners, Liam started sitting closer. His eyes, so full of mischief, would linger on mine a little longer. He'd make comments, inside jokes, that felt like they were just for us. It was subtle at first, a hand brushing mine a little too long when passing a dish, a shared glance across the table that lasted a beat too long. My heart would give a funny little flutter. It was a thrill, a forbidden tingle I hadn't felt in years. I'd push it away. He's family. He's Mark's brother. What are you thinking? But the thrill? It was addictive. It was like a secret current flowing beneath the surface of our polite family interactions. It made me feel seen, desired, and God help me, alive. The first time, oh God. The first time. It was a summer barbecue at Mark's parents' place. Mark was busy catching up with old friends, drink in hand. I was helping clear dishes, feeling a little restless. Liam came into the kitchen, a smirk on his face, offering to help. We were alone. The conversation flowed, easy, light, but underneath it there was that hum. He leaned against the counter, blocking my way slightly, not aggressively, but possessively. He was telling a funny story, and his eyes, they just held mine. Then he reached out and brushed a strand of hair from my face. My breath caught. My whole body seized up. "You look beautiful today," he whispered, his voice rough. It was so simple, so cliché, but it hit me like a lightning bolt. It was a direct, undeniable shot of pure, unadulterated desire. I knew in that exact second that I was about to make a terrible mistake, and I did it anyway. I didn't say a word, I just leaned in,
and he met me halfway. The kiss was desperate, urgent, tasting of cheap beer and something dangerous. My heart hammered against my ribs so hard I thought it would burst through my chest. The thrill was intoxicating. It was everything missing, everything I craved, compressed into a single illicit moment. When we broke apart, we were both breathing heavily. His eyes were wide, a mixture of shock and exhilaration. Mine, I imagine, were the same.
The guilt hit almost instantly. A cold, nauseating wave that crashed over me. My husband, my kind, trusting husband, was just outside. His parents were just outside. Liam's parents. What had I done? But then Liam took my hand, a silent question in his eyes, and a different kind of thrill surged through me. The thrill of the forbidden, the thrill of the secret, and I squeezed his hand back. That was the beginning. We were careful, so careful. Stolen moments, secret texts, quick glances that said 1,000 unspoken things. Every family gathering became a minefield of adrenaline and anticipation. Every time Liam was around, I felt a high. My senses were heightened. The taste of my coffee in the morning, the scent of fresh-cut grass, even the feel of my own clothes. Everything felt more vivid, more intense. With Liam, I felt alive. I felt seen. I felt desired in a way that had become a distant memory in my marriage. But then,
the price for that high was crushing. Every time Mark looked at me with love in his eyes, a dagger twisted in my gut. Every time he talked about future plans, a wave of sickness washed over me. I started avoiding his touch, flinching internally at his casual affection. I became a master of deceit, a performer in my own home. I'd laugh at his jokes, listen to his stories. All the while, a toxic secret festered beneath my carefully constructed facade. I could almost taste the lie in my mouth.
The guilt. It became a constant companion. It was in the pit of my stomach, a knot that never loosened. It followed me to bed, making sleep restless. It whispered to me in the shower, telling me I was a terrible person, a betrayer, a fraud. I started losing weight, my appetite gone. My friends noticed I was quieter, more distant. I made excuses. There was one night, after a particularly intense stolen hour with Liam, where I came home to Mark watching TV. He looked up, smiled, and asked about my day. I almost broke. The sheer injustice of his goodness, his unsuspecting trust, was unbearable. I wanted to scream. I wanted to tell him everything. I wanted to fall to my knees and beg for forgiveness. But the fear of shattering his world, of destroying our families, of becoming that person in everyone's eyes, kept me silent. The thrill started to fade then, replaced entirely by a bitter, metallic tasto.
Self-loathing. The stolen moments with Liam, once exhilarating, began to feel sordid, cheap. I started seeing him differently too, not as the exciting rebel, but as complicit in my destruction. We weren't connecting anymore. We were just two people desperately clinging to a dangerous secret, and the thrill wasn't worth the cost to my soul. I knew I had to stop. I knew I had to confess. The thought of living another day with this lie consuming me was worse than any pain I imagined facing. Pause. So a few weeks ago, I did it. I sat Mark down.
The look on his face. That's an image that will haunt me forever. The disbelief, the confusion, then the slow, dawning realization, and finally, the utter devastation. It was like watching a light go out behind his eyes. He didn't scream. He didn't yell. He just crumpled. And when I told him who it was, his own brother, the pain multiplied 1,000-fold. We're not okay. Not by a long shot. He moved out. Our perfect little house is silent now, except for the echo of my regret. I'm facing the consequences of my actions. I lost everything: my husband, his trust, the respect of his family, and for a long time, my own self-respect. Liam? He's also facing the fallout. This wasn't just my mistake, but I'm not here to talk about him. I'm here to talk about me. I made a terrible choice. A series of terrible choices driven by a selfish pursuit of a fleeting thrill, a desire to feel something, anything, even if it meant destroying
everything good in my life. The thrill was never worth the guilt. Never. If there's anything I've learned, it's that those little drifts, those imperceptible distances in a relationship, they're not normal. They're cracks. And instead of trying to fill those cracks with external, destructive things, you have to talk about them. You have to face them, or you risk crumbling everything.
I don't know what my future holds. I don't know if Mark will ever forgive me, or if I'll ever forgive myself. But I'm here, telling you this, because I need to own it. I need to be honest. And maybe, just maybe, my confession can be a cautionary tale for someone else who feels that dangerous pull, that forbidden thrill. It's not worth it. The guilt will consume you, and it will be a pain far deeper and longer lasting than any fleeting high. Thank you for listening.